Welcome to Preservation One. I'm your host, Alexandria Artist. So listen, I was on the phone with someone, and they asked me who was my favorite person that I interviewed. And honestly, I sat up here and I thought about it yesterday, and I thought about it this morning. Honestly, I don't have a favorite person that I interviewed. I have not one favorite story that I ever wrote when I was working in media. Not now. Um, because I loved all of them. That's why I don't have now. I don't have a favorite person that I interviewed because I loved all of them. It's just some people just stick out more than what other people would stick out to you when you're doing interviews. Well, for me, when I did interviews, but you gotta look at how long ago that was as well. So a lot of stuff I forgot any got doggone way. Like I haven't did it in years. Um, except for my guest on the podcast. But I forgot some of those doggone interviews. No shade or nothing. I really did. But the good thing about it, all my stuff is on my end. It's a little organized. So that's truly a blessing. However, I was sitting up there. I was telling her, for me personally, I'm one of those people, and it's not that I'm so old, but I'm one of those people. I like originality and I like authentication more than anything. Okay, so I was telling her, like, for me personally, when I learned how to do videography, when I learned how to do photography, it was the old way, the old process that could take days. Okay, if things are not right in your doggone dark room, it could take yes, it could take days, almost a week, and almost a week is cutting it very close because it could have been you know what I'm saying, went bad. Not went bad, but it's like, yeah, you done ruined the doggone photo. That's what I mean by that. And whatever, it can take time, and you would have to do it to make sure that your room was at a certain temperature. And you had when we went in, we always, or even when I went in, when I was doing it myself, you had to make sure that you closed the door back, like really quickly, because if that temp is off for too long in that room, you were going to ruin your photos. You see what I'm saying? Like I actually did it, you know. So wow, and just making sure that your solution was mixed right. Y'all, I'm eating breakfast. Making that your solution is mixed right. Just making sure that you did everything right and trying not to bump anything because you don't need nothing to mess up. Okay? Nowadays ain't like that so much, and which that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Either way, when you go get photos developed, it's gonna take some time for you to get them developed anyway because they still got to go through that process as well. So it may not be like the old drawn out way, like how when we did it and when I did it. Wait, well, you still got to wait for the picture to develop. Anyway, anyway. So yeah, so I just didn't. I don't have a particular one. Um, at all. But but I have many. You know what? I was talking when me and her were talking. I was telling her, for me personally, a well-spoken person to me is more like a wordsmith. Is more like a poet. Is more like how you formulate your words. The pronunciation, I don't give a shit about. Like, you know why I don't care really so much about the pronunciation? Because I'm gonna understand what you're saying any god doggone way if you don't pronounce it right. as most people do. You know what I'm saying? But I don't get into the pronunciation because if you look at the pronunciation, if you are a reader and you'd read books, say maybe from the 17th, 18th century to the early 19th century, even if you ever read slave books and you know the doggone grammar and the pronunciation, and the majority of those books was tore up according to today's society, right? But truthfully, they're not. Truly, they're not. Whether if it's educated, whether if it's not educated. But what got me, and then it's always what got me, and what's always been pretty doggone fascinating, but jacked up for certain books from the earlier centuries. Some people would like to doggone rewrite the words in better grammar and better English, using better grammar than what it originally was. So when you originally read a book, you already know what it is. So then when you go back, they'd have changed up the words, they'd have added these good old corrections to it, and to me that just robs the original piece of what it was. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that it's removing is magic, because it's still going to be the same thing, but I just like for it to be exactly what it is. So for me personally, um, that's why I don't really get into the trying to be as perfect. That would probably drive me. That would probably ignore me. Um, More so than any damn thing. You know what I'm saying? I understand you want it to be right. You want it to try to get things as perfect as possible. But in honesty, there's no such thing as perfect. Like you can try to do your best, but I mean, well, hell, it's perfect to the person, to the eyes of the beholder. Okay, to the person who work it is. Okay, it's perfect to them. But I just always felt like that when I would read something younger, even when I got older, and and I know the original form of the work, and then to see it redone, it's like, huh? It's like this is like a rip off, or whatever. But either way, so yeah, so it's like, I don't know if it was like the rawness in the words itself. That's like, for me, somebody from the South. That's like, how can I explain this? Maybe a little different. Like it's more than just mispronunciations of the words. It's certain words have certain impacts, like action words, right? They will spike your attention, right? Okay, action words like how they teach you in school, right? Okay, I'm trying to think of like, um, gosh, I'm trying to think like, maybe or an example of an actual work. Okay, like in let me see. Gosh, just because I want to tell you, and I can't remember. I'm trying to remember like a sentence or maybe multiple sentences that was rechanged, and I was like, damn, look at this here. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, look at this here. Um, like, oh shit, like maybe like I don't know, but I can't think of it right now. Like certain words, they just have certain impacts, and maybe because we grew up hearing them, you know what I'm saying, or maybe because we use them ourselves, or it could be equivalent to a word that's only known in your area. Like certain words are only known in my area, but nowadays pretty much everything is globally known, right? But maybe like yeah, like equivalent to words that's known on your block, words that's known on your in your area, words that's known between you and your friends or you and your family. You see what I'm saying? So if it's a word and y'all say it a certain way, but y'all know what it is, and so for an outsider coming in trying to say the word, but they're saying the word wrong, it's like, yeah, we can tell they ain't from here. You know what I'm saying? We can tell they ain't from here. You ain't from around here. You know what I'm talking about? So for me, it feels it feels equivalent to that. Whenever I see when someone goes in and change the word, it's like that's not really equivalent. Equivalent. That's not really equivalent. But it puts me in the mind of that. But it's like, yeah, it does put me in the mind of that because if someone is saying, or if said people were saying, used to saying a certain word a type of way, and then somebody new come in and, well, you don't pronounce the word like this, you pronounce the word like that, or whatever, when this is something that is universally known or said for however long, doesn't mean that it's right, but it's just how they pronounce it. So for someone to come in and try to make everybody or try to change everybody's mind, like north and north, you know what I'm saying? Same thing, but just pronounced different. Does that make sense? Or whatever. And so trying to, so when you read something, like if it's something that was written with, say, north in it or whatever, and then somebody change it to north, even though it's the same, but it's still robs it of its character. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that. And maybe it's not that important to you, but I actually get um, into the in depth, into reading in somebody's piece. I like detail. I like detail a lot. And I like originality a lot. A lot. And whatever. So yeah, so if I'm reading something or whatever, excuse me, if I'm yeah, even if I'm reading something, or if I'm talking to somebody, I want them to talk how they talk. I don't want, I mean, this is just my opinion. I don't want them to go out of their way to change who they are or how they speak because I feel like, you know, because I feel like, hey, I'm a writer. You know what I'm saying? You're not a writer, but I'm a writer. Excuse me. I'm a published writer. You're not a published writer. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I need you to pronounce your words right, or I need you to write something right. I don't think I would ever be that kind of person because at the end of the day, the only way that you're really going to find out who what you are, and what you're made of is by being true to you. You got to find you. You got to find your voice. You got to find how you write. You got to find how you talk. You got to find how you deal with things. You got to find out the shit that makes you uniquely you. And the only way to do that is to be true to you. Not who people want you to be, not to be the standard formation that's in society, that is society, not to be the status quo, not to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, all that there. That's yeah, some Stepford Wives type shit. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, like some cookie cutter type shit, because that's more so what's accepted. You know what I'm saying? And a good thing about your work, and a good thing about art or anything else that you're doing, Believe it or not, you would be surprised. People are going to roll with it. You know what I'm saying? You keep going at it. People are going to roll with it. If they are feeling it, they are going to roll with it. That's why when you hear so many people, like I always thought it was fascinating. Whenever artists come out, maybe 10 years later, or whatever, so many years later, and then when you always hearing them talking about their day one fans, because before they became who they are, these people, them day ones, they like, you know what? Shit, we like this. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them like, we don't give a damn. Who don't give a damn? Who don't like this? But I'm feeling this. You know what I'm saying? And then they follow on with that person's career or whatever. I mean, it's a beautiful doggone thing, you know? Hey, it's a beautiful thing. Somebody's gonna like your work and fall in love with it. So for me personally, when I'm talking, like I used to edit my podcast. I used to edit them and used to cut out a lot of stuff in it, and I stopped doing that. I stopped doing that. I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna go ahead and just let it flow, because sometimes I'll been to cut out some good things or something that is very important to me. Trying to answer a question that is asked of me through, email or whatever, and I might leave out the most, might leave out an important keyword. You know what I'm saying? Trying to edit or editing. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, because it just might. So I'm like, shit, I'm gonna let it roll. That's just how I feel about that. Either way, I'm your host, Alexandria August, and this is just me. This is just how I feel about it. Don't forget to get a copy of A Conversation with Alexandria August. Always be true to you, always respect you, and always love you. Always. Anyway, yes, don't forget to get a copy of my book, Conversation with Alexandria August. Thank you.